Hey and welcome to Tech Tips with me, Jacob Goodine. Today we're gonna check out this little guy. This is an ATEM Constellation HD 2ME. So this is the middle brother. There's one bigger and one smaller. One is half and one is double. So this has 20 inputs that you can choose. You can either just go and switch everything on here, pick your cameras on the buttons. You can set your settings up here in the menu from here, or you can do it from the Blackmagic software. And usually you go into the software to do it. Just hook up an internet to it, to the network cable, and then set all your settings there. The other option you have is to have one of these. This is the ATEM 1ME Advanced Panel 10. So this has 10 plus 10 inputs. So you see 10 buttons, and it does the same thing. And when I switch here, it switches up here. Here you have a 5-pin standard intercom, and it works with the Blackmagic cameras to give intercom and talkback to them. On the back of this, there's a network cable or Ethernet cable that you can also set up to expand your talkback. This is the HD version. There is a 4K and 8K version as well, but of course HD would be cheaper to buy than the other ones. It does have advanced audio. If we check over here, I have a picture of the panel on the back side, the back end of it. It does not have XLRs in, it has 1/4 inch in, so you need an adapter, and have to think about that 1/4 inch is 6 decibels lower than XLR, so you just have to adjust your settings when you plug it in. It has 12 outputs on the back that you can set to whatever you want. It has 2 multi-views as well for SDI outputs. And then, as it says on the box, there's 20 inputs. The good thing with the inputs is that they are also encoders. So if you have something that's 720 or 1080, it'll adjust the frame rate or the settings to what you have the rest of the settings in the board set to. Which is nice if you have multiple different inputs from different sources. It's always better to have them set right from camera and source, of course, but if you're not able to, it's a good help to have. So the downsides, of course, is if you have an HD, it doesn't do 4K. So you're only going to get 1080 out of it, so regular HD. It also doesn't have ISO recording as the smaller guys do, like the Extreme ISO and the ATEM Mini ISO Pro or Pro ISO. They can record all the sources at once. This one doesn't do that at the moment. Though it does have a USB out, which you can use for either a webcam if you're doing, say, Zoom or Teams or Skype or anything and talking to somebody and want them to see what's live. You can use that output. Also can use it for streaming if you have a software for streaming on your computer. In this unit you have advanced chroma keys, so you can green screen and do all kinds of fun things. You also have a data pool of 20 graphics that you can use and keep in your ATEM. Unless you want to do an input and have running graphics from another feed, say computer, then you can literally have unlimited graphics if you go that route. But then you lose one of your inputs. So it's a give and take, of course. If you want to, you don't actually need to have one of the panels. You can just stick with the machine and then control it on the ATEM software that you can download for free from Blackmagic's supports website. I like having buttons. It makes it easier for longer days to actually go through it, and you don't risk like failure of the computer or anything like that. So a solid panel is always nice. And the way you set this up, this only has power and network to it. So this is just a mirror of the Constellation itself. So you just hook up network to your router, and then you hook up your Constellation to a router, and then they can talk to the internet, which makes it possible to actually control it from a distance, both through Blackmagic's own softwares and hardwares and our playout system right here, as I have on the screen. And what we can do here is actually set automatically in the schedule at a certain time we want camera 1 to go live, and then after that another camera go live. So I can set this up to actually switch from this computer. Our playout system can actually take over and do simultaneous switching or do remote switching of the cameras and add clips and such without me being in the area. This is the method option of actually controlling the cameras itself, but we don't have those cameras at the moment, so I can't show you. But for the ATEM sake, you can pick inputs and go straight live with them, which is very handy. This comes into play a lot at our office because we need to do that a lot. The Constellation itself, it's about $2,000, and then you had to have another $3,000 for the panel itself. So if you want to start off with 20,000, you just get going, and then you can do it with the software, and then you add your panel after. Works fine. It doesn't come with any HDMI cables, so all your multi-view outs, all your outputs has to go through a converter. Of course, Blackmagic sells these as SDI to HDMI converters. It makes it better in certain ways. It makes it harder in other ways. But SDI cables are more stable than HDMI cables, so you can do free length in a different way if you're far away from your multi-view computers, for example. So I actually like that it is SDI. It's a very stable connection compared to many failed HDMI cables I've had during the days. So, you know, some people get upset about this because some of the older switchers had HDMI and SDI, but this one is all SDI. Also saves some space, and the Constellation itself can actually keep for your two units size, so this big. A few things to note and think about. Like I said before, it has SDI outputs that you can set. That also means that you have to set them. Some people don't like having to go into the software to prepare everything. It will be a little bit more of a curve to get going. The older system is that one output goes only to program, one only to preview, and one only to multi-view, and one's direct out on each of the outputs. That's the older version to do it. But now you can set anything basically on your outputs depending on your needs. Just remember, you actually have to set it up yourself, so it takes a little while at times. To also note, in the Constellation has quite a few built-in things that you could have good use for. It has a full audio mixer, it has EQs and limiters and all these things, so you can actually set audio in it. It also has a lot of graphic capabilities, so you can do a lot of chroma keying, you can do a lot of, bugs moving around and all that jazz. Which is very handy to have in the unit itself, because it costs a lot to buy graphics machines, like extra. So you get a lot of the stuff that you can do for your production in the box. And like I said, it's about $2,000 at the moment. And with that, I thank you all so much for watching. I love it when you watch. Don't forget to like and subscribe the video. And if you have any questions, don't forget to comment. And until next time, guys, see you later.